Today I'm going to talk about what to do when you feel stuck in a role, and I'm going to share some of my own experiences as well to let you know that you're not the only one that feels that way. I know that so many of us feel stuck and trapped for a variety of reasons. It could be that when you look ahead in your company, there's no opportunities for growth and you feel like you're going to keep putting in the work and doing all the time, but not really progressing. Or you could wake up every morning dreading going to work because you feel uninspired and you're in an industry that no longer excites you. I have been through all of the feelings in lots of different contexts, and I've come out of it feeling like there is no reason why you should remain stuck in a role, because the truth is you have options. A lot of us don't like to hear this because it's easier to feel like everything depends on the outside world, and the truth is some things do, and a lot of the time others don't. And it can be really internal because change, especially when you've worked so hard for something, can feel so difficult. I know in particular that was the case for me. Even though I was getting offered like lots of different roles with different companies, I was working at the time with one of the best law firms in the world. And I know that when I was at university, I actually applied to them and didn't get through. They rejected me. And after a few years, I found myself in that company. And for a while, I was loving it. And then it got to a point where I just reached a plateau. Not only did I feel like I was no longer in love with being a big law lawyer, but I felt like I really wanted to do something different with my life. But I couldn't really determine what that was. And I felt stuck in the sense that I was in a job that many people would have loved to have. And I know that everyone's situation is very different, but I felt so grateful for the job that I had, because you've probably seen my old videos that I came from a background where I was on minimum wage. Like my first job was at McDonald's. I basically had to fend for myself a lot of my career. And this is not like a guitar thing. A lot of those experiences gave me resilience, right? And I felt like I was always like fighting and clawing away to get those jobs. And I finally got there and I was like, this is nice. Once the shine kind of wore off, I felt like, what am I gonna do now? But it took me years. I let myself stay there instead of really examining all of the various options that are available for me. And I think that this is really the case for lots of people, especially when they're getting paid well. So in this video, I'm going to break down a number of things that you can do when you feel stuck in your role. And one of the things I'm going to talk about is one that is very obvious, but that's the one that people are the most scared about. And I'm going to also give you the opportunity to hop on a call with me if it feels like the right thing to do and you're ready to kind of get unstuck and live the rich life that is destined for you. So the first thing to do when you're feeling stuck is to really examine why. It could be that you're not being challenged enough. It could be that you just don't really like what you're doing. It could be that you're not getting paid enough, but you are nervous about moving somewhere else because you've built up so much goodwill at your current company. These are all valid reasons, because the reason determines the strategy. You can negotiate a change in your current company, and that change could be a promotion, that change could be a higher salary, that change could be a client secondment. There are so many things. You could switch to a different department. I've talked about this in a different video, but these are all things that I've done. And if you are not sure that making a big leap is the right strategy for you, these are things that you can explore. So you can say, I want a promotion because I feel like the opportunity to take a more leadership role, to get exposure to different types of work will really serve me well and really allow me to kind of show myself and feel challenged by the work that I do. The other thing that you could do is take charge of your own learning and development. Many people expect their jobs, their careers to be their everything. I've talked about how people feel like they have to have a dream job. Like, newsflash, you don't, right? A job is a job is a job. You're trading your time for money. Ideally, if you're going to call something a dream, it should feel like something that's effortless. And some people are lucky enough to end up in those types of roles, but for a lot of us, it's not realistic. I am more than happy to settle for a job that I feel happy and fulfilled in, as long as I'm living my dream life. And my dream life concept could be very different to yours. But for me, it's just work-life balance is incredibly important. And if I'm going to be working every day, I want to be happy doing what I'm doing. It doesn't have to feel like a dream, but as long as it's facilitating the type of lifestyle that I want, whether it's in terms of pay, the time, personal time that I have to spend with my friends and my family and all of these other things, that's a dream life for me. And I know that it could be different for you. But to go back to my point, a lot of us place too much onus on our jobs to be our everything, and it's not realistic. Your job cannot be like the place where you find friends, the place where you feel energized and engaged every day, the place where you learn new things. You could be feeling stuck because you've learned all of the things that there is to learn in that role. So when you take charge of your own learning and development, maybe you do a professional course that kind of relates to your industry or something else, it really helps you feel like, oh, I'm learning something new. And perhaps you could learn things in that could help you in your current role. Again, this is something that I'm doing even now when I'm working in a career that I love, right? You guys know that I'm a lawyer, I'm a career coach, I'm also a tech business consultant. I kind of hesitate to describe what I do because there's so many different titles, but just put it this way, I have a portfolio career and I really love what I do right now. And I never allow myself to stay like stagnant because it's so exciting. It's so different from the monotony of the big finance law that I used to do for years, like 8 years. So right now, one of the things that I'm doing is a project management course from Google because I'm thinking maybe I might want to do the PMP certificate later on. And that serves me so well, not just in my business, right? Because we've built out systems, automations, processes. Everyone in my team knows what to do every time we onboard a new client, things like that. But not only is that relevant for my business, but it's also very relevant for the work that I'm doing, digital transformation services for one of the biggest companies in the world. I'm teaching them things, and these are things that I'm learning in my own time. It's not actually part of my scope. And I think if you've been working for a while, you need to be prepared to invest in yourself. This is something I talk about all the time. It's like when people reach out to me for free advice, I'm like, I'm giving you lots of free advice here on YouTube. If you recognize the value in something, then you will pay for it. If you know that you are a valuable person in yourself and you want to enhance your value in the marketplace, you will pay for your education. And if you're able to get your company to pay for some of these professional development courses, that's fantastic. But sometimes they don't need to pay for it because it's for your benefit. So pay for the course if you can afford it. If you work for a company, kind of like my boyfriend's company, and they will pay for you to do an MBA after a certain amount of time, what's stopping you? Use it because it really adds to your profile and it's an asset that you can leverage when you decide, okay, I'm bored of this job, I want to move into something else. Like I was reading an article, I'll link it below, about this girl who was able to bump up her salary to £125,000 in the middle of the recession. And one of the things that she did to help her get there and make such a big jump is to take a professional course that was sponsored by her company. So many people are just like, I just want to go in and clock out. Well, if that's what you're going to do and you feel stuck in your job, then it's no surprise, right? Because you're not really pushing yourself. You're not going out of the norm to try and really enhance yourself. So if you can learn something new, do it because it's definitely going to help you. So I know that I talk a bit serious all the time, but I'm actually not really. And one of the things that really helped me when I was feeling trapped in my job was to have a hobby. And if you follow my other channel, that was my hobby for a long time, where I used to post a lot of travel content and vlogs, and those things were really, really exciting for me. But I'm not gonna lie, like although they really helped me and helped me kind of feel like I had a creative outlet outside of my office, it made me really sad when I didn't have enough time to really develop them, right? I didn't have time to kind of edit the videos that I did and stuff. That's a whole different topic for another time, but I wanted to be transparent about this. But I'm gonna tell you that when I had a side hustle and I had side projects that were related to things that I loved outside of work, it helped me feel a bit more balanced. And that's the thing. Sometimes some of us are stuck in jobs because we don't have a choice. Maybe the job that you're in, like your visa is dependent on that job, so you can't move. These are realities that so many people face. And even though it's not my direct experience, I have friends that worked for the big 4 consulting firms for like 8 years because they were waiting for their green card. If you're in that type of position and maybe it's not so easy for you to change your job because for whatever reason, then try and make some time and space. You have to fight for it because sometimes these jobs just take up so much of your time. Fight for your own mental space. Fight for a creative outlet that's going to help you feel refreshed and excited and make you feel like you have something that's for you, because that's something to look forward to every weekend, as opposed to spending your weekend like just really exhausted, dreading Mondays because you're like back to that whole grind. But instead, if you find a way to develop a new hobby or a side hustle, anything, you have something else that's your own that kind of reduces the pain of the situation that you're in. This is one that for me, I always maxed out. I didn't understand why people would not do this. And that is go on holiday or take a sabbatical. Get out of the office. If you can't figure out what's making you feel stuck, what's making you feel trapped, or how to get out of your current situation, take a break. We have leave, and it's a legal entitlement for a reason. Please use it. Don't be a workaholic. Have the choice to take a holiday and then complain about the fact that you feel stuck. Get yourself out of that situation, even if it's just for a short time, because in that space, it could help you realize that it's time for you to do something new. It's time for you to make a change or build a strategy to get you what it is that you actually want out of your career. And I've talked about this many, many times, and I will share some pictures from the holidays that I've taken over the years before I finally got the balls to actually do what I'm going to talk about next. So having a break from your job, whether that's 2 weeks or a longer term sabbatical, is a great opportunity for you to figure out what you want to do next. And if you are able to get extended leave without compromising your current job, that's fantastic, because then you could do things like maybe doing an internship. There are such things as professional level internships, because I know that a lot of you that watch my channel are a bit like, you've got some experience in your career, and when you hear internship, you're like, no way. No, seriously. If you know that you're taking a sabbatical and you have a job at the end of it, you can volunteer and you can allow yourself to maybe do some other projects in other industries that will allow you to build up the experience and the network and actually test whether the job is for you. That's definitely something that I did. I was doing some little tech projects on the side before I made the leap from law into tech. So this is a strategy that is there for you. Take your time out and don't wear your time in the office as a badge of honor. That's rubbish. Like, no one really cares how long you're in office. Most of your friends and family are probably bored of hearing you complain about how burnt out you are. Everyone is rooting for you to take charge and take control of your life. The option is available for you and you need to take it. And this brings me on to my next point, which is the pivotal thing, and one of the reasons why I founded this channel, is you have the choice to get unstuck. You can quit your job. You can start something new. You can shift into a different industry. You can become an entrepreneur. You could move abroad. There are so many things that you can do, especially if you have a baseline of experience. So why don't you do it? If you feel like you need a transition plan, if you feel like you need to get your head right, I've created a masterclass that will show you how professionals just like you have been able to successfully navigate career changes without compromising their financial security or starting over from scratch. There are examples of people who have done this before. I've done it. You probably know my story. If you don't, I'll also link that below this video so that you can get to it. But I don't want to bore everyone who's been riding with me from day one. If you even go on YouTube, you can see people who've switched industries. We all know that sound. So I'm going to end this video shortly. But there are so many things for you to do, and you can't complain that you feel stuck if you're not going to take any action about it. Going back and forth in your head is what people call analysis paralysis. You can end up being there for years if you don't take actions. So I just want to encourage you with this video. If you resonate with anything that I've said, or you have some of your own tips to share, do comment below and I'll respond and we can have a conversation going, because a lot of us feel like this. But I want you to know that there's also a reason why the Great Resignation is trending. Many people have realized post-pandemic that the world is really their oyster. The world of work is changing. You don't have to stay put when there's so many opportunities for you to leverage. People won't leave me alone, right? So while I'm filming. Anyway, I am more than happy to hop on calls with people who want to work with me to help them make their own career transition a success. Watch the masterclass. If it resonates with you, I'm actually only going to be offering a limited number of calls, because you can see, like, there's literally how many computers here? 1, three computers on my desk. I'm absolutely swamped right now, but this is my passion. Like, I really love helping people, especially mid-career professionals who I really know the pain, you know, I know what it's like to have really worked so hard for something and then feeling like, I don't really like it anymore. I want to do something else. I want to move. And then you're scared about it. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope it resonates with you. Let me know if it does, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.